Right, you gits. It's time for the war. But we can't go on a war with just boys and knobs. They ain't killy enough. Bring out the dreads. WAAAGH! Greetings, boys and gits. Welcome back to the channel. This is the Gitmanz speaking. Now, I know it's been a while since the last video, and I'll go into details to why it's been a while. It's because, personally, I haven't been feeling motivated to do anything on the YouTube channel for a long while. Because the motivation to show off the stuff that I've been painting kind of dipped. And I just didn't find it all that fun anymore. Hopefully I still manage to continue making videos. I don't know if it will continue or not, though. Time will have to tell on whether I still find it enjoyable or not. But let's not worry about that right now. Let's worry about showing off these 3 beautiful death dreads. Now, I am recording this in a different space. As you can tell, this is not the same desk that I have been recording on. And that's because I'm in my brother's room. And he's got far better lighting in his workspace than I ever did in mine. So we're going to record in here. Plus he's not here anyway, so it won't really bother him that much. But let's crack on. We have 3 death dreads. The dreads of WAAAGH, as I like to call them. It's a play on Dogs of War, for those who are not getting the reference. But well, yeah, it's 3 death dreads. Now, for those on the more competitive side, you're probably wondering why I haven't specifically kitted them all out with one weapon of the one specific weapon out of the death dread kit. And that was because when I had built these, I wasn't really thinking of on the competitive side. I just wanted them to look very cool. And so I gave each of them 2 arms and 2 guns, which doesn't really make them the most competitive, but I still think they look very cool. And they don't have individual names, because I don't really do that thing for my army, sadly. Because most of the stuff ends up dying anyway before they get a chance to really earn a name, sadly. Sorry if I'm coughing a little bit. I have been sick with COVID recently, and I'm still slightly recovering from it. But enough talking. Let's get to showing off some death dreads. Start off. Actually, no. We'll start off with the one in the middle, because this is the first one that actually got some paint on him. And I will say this right now: I hated painting this guy. And reason why I didn't like it, it's a very simple answer, and it's one that most people might not actually agree with. But I went with the usual trick with vehicles of spraying it black and then dry brushing over with metallics. I tried that. It didn't really fit well with me. It just kind of demotivated me from wanting to actually paint anymore on this thing, and so it kind of fell on the side as I painted other stuff, which is also what kept me from completing this thing for a very long time. But he is finished now, and if you look very closely, you'll notice right behind his KMB that there's patches of metal that didn't get a brush of blue paint, and that's because, again, I was basically at the point where I don't care about what this thing looks like. No one's going to notice those areas. They don't need any blue paint. They can just stay silver. And so I did that. They're obviously in the usual paint scheme of blue and orange, because blue and orange go well together, in my mind at least. The barrel, I decided to paint orange because to the orcs, that's a way of saying don't get too close to it or don't shoot it, because then the rest of the Death Dread will explode. Obviously, if Humies or Space Marines shoot it, the orcs won't immediately care if it does get shot, because then they'll think that the Death Dread will be fine. It just has to get closer in order to rip them apart, which is really true. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Alright. Well, again, these ones don't have any names, but I've taken to calling this one, like, Orange Chrome Dome, because if you notice on the camera that's picking up, that he has a very shiny orange skull plate on his face, which I think Orange Chrome Dome works very well for a name for this guy. I probably won't paint it on the base anywhere, because I'm obviously a lazy git that doesn't care about whether my stuff that isn't a character has a name or not. But unlike the first one, this one has a little bit more of the less kind of red looking orange and more of the bright orange, or I don't know really what to use for different shades of orange. He's still got the same kind of loadout of 2 melee weapons and 2 guns, although instead of just 1 custom Mega Blaster, he's got 2. And instead of claws, he's got saws, which don't really actually make a difference in this edition, because claws and saws are both the same now. And unlike the first one, I actually enjoyed painting this Death Dread far better, despite it looking a little bit harder to actually reach a brush in between these very small gaps there. But the reason why I think it was much easier is because I didn't actually try the spray it black, then dry brush with metallics. I instead just sprayed over it with regular lead belcher, and it sped up the process enormously, which I'm all for, because I personally don't like taking a long time when it comes to painting stuff, because then I get demotivated and don't actually want to finish painting it, which isn't what we want to do in this hobby. And lastly, but by no means least, Death Dread number 3, / the first Death Dread I actually ever built. Again, this one doesn't have a name. None of them actually have names. But I actually really liked painting this one far better than the other 2. And I kind of liked what I did with the jaw plate in having multicolored teeth on the jaw plate. I'm fumbling my words again. And you wouldn't really notice it, but if we scoot under the light, you will actually notice there's some detailing on the missile head on his rocket launcher, because I tried my hand at giving him a shark face design on one of his rockets, as influenced by, well, people in the 40k orc community, which you can find a link to this community in the description below for the Facebook and Discord. Now, if you're not also paying attention as we spin these around, you will notice that all the barrels are painted orange. And that's because, well, unlike my first description, I just went with painting these barrels orange because I thought they looked better in orange rather than blue. Plus, in case there's an emergency, the Death Dread can just have somebody blow it up, and it'll kill a bunch of humies in the process, which is a very orky way of killing people and going out in general. And, well, yeah, I don't think there's anything else really to describe on these. So, closing thoughts. Overall, did I like painting these? Well, yes, despite saying that I hated painting the one in the middle, I actually liked the way he turned out. They look very nice when paired up in a dread mob like this. And luckily, these aren't all the Death Dreads I have. I've got at least one more who needs to get some paint on him. And he will eventually, but I've saved him for a challenge in the 40k Orc community, which I'm not allowed to spoil for those who want to know what it is, because we are secret around here. Shh. But yes, so well, that's the Dread Mob. And another reason why I am back recording is because, well, somebody very special in the 40k Orc community by the name of Mr. 6 Plus Stevo asked that I make this video special for him. So I'm giving a shout out to 6 Plus Stevo, the big deal of the 40k Orc community. You can find a link to his channel also down below. And without anything else, I believe we will wrap it up. So, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you like the way these look. Don't leave a comment or don't do any of what I just described if you don't want to. I will leave it to you capable people. But for now, see you around, you gits.